I just think everything is everybody's story. You know, they got one life to live. And what they want to choose to do and what they believe their story is after they get the best information they can from the people that are closest to them, and they make their decisions. And then it's, in my opinion, it's that person's job to go prove that decision right. And so I know people are really excited about it. I'm sure that, or it does speak volumes of LSU, because to me, there's somebody that understands everything about LSU, understands the power of LSU, went through a very unique situation, kind of had a little breakup, you know, and then makes the decision to come back. To me, says a lot about LSU.
And we say happy Wednesday morning to you. It is April Fool's Day, April the 1st. Buddy Songy in here on the house with Jonathan Poche. As always, Marty Campbell, the cameraman behind the scenes. We hope all of you are doing well. Exciting times out here as we get back here on Tigers Roar. Hope all of you are going to have a blessed and happy Easter. And, of course, Holy Thursday tomorrow, Good Friday on Saturday. Good Friday on this Friday, and then Holy Saturday and Easter Sunday. So all of us over here at Pelican Sports Radio and TV certainly hope that you and yours bring in the Easter spirit the right way. Jonathan Poche, him and I will talk a little about the big things and going-ons. And, folks, real quick, second week of Lane Kiffin at spring football. We've got some tidbits to share with you about all of that. And Tigers are right now practicing like a pro team. We'll expound on that in a few minutes. Kim Mulkey and the Lady Tigers have a heartbreak bounce of the ball as they get beat on a last-second shot by Duke over in Sacramento. Jay Johnson and the men finally win an SEC series as they come back after a 7-zip deficit and beat Kentucky by a football score of 17-10. Oh, by the way, if you stayed up late, you see the wrinkles in my eyes. Late night out at the box, LSU prevails 16-6 over Southern, but Tigers are struggling a little bit. Made some errors, then a 70-minute rain delay. And, of course, the big news that went down on Monday, you saw JP with the opening. Will Wade is back. The general is back, and it is time to boot up. The portal starts next Monday, and I guarantee you, folks, LSU men's basketball is going to get you back into the PMAC. And, JP, as always, great to see you. Anything that I missed on the opening right here on Pelican Sports TV, right here with the game. We hope that all of you are doing well. And we're so serious today, we're not even doing any April Fool's jokes today, JP.
That's right, Bud, man. Happy to be back on Tigers Roar with you. Of course, appreciate all of the audience out there. You can also catch us on YouTube at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. And it's been a busy week so far, Bud, man. Of course, we'll have the Will Wade introductory press conference. Thought LSU did a great job. I thought Will Wade did a great job getting the energy and excitement back into men's basketball program down at LSU. We'll also hear from Coach Jay Johnson along with Seth Dardar and Derek Curiel. Of course, Seth Dardar finally busted out of his slump this past weekend, had a huge 3-run home run to give LSU the lead against Kentucky in that Game 3 rubber match. The huge bat flip led to a lot of fireworks after. Coach Jay Johnson was fired up. You don't usually see him get like that in front of cameras, but, Coach from Kentucky, Mingione, also wanted to have his voice heard, and Coach Jay Johnson didn't appreciate the timing of the visit with the umpire while he's trying to get an explanation of what the holdup was. And, it was a lot of emotion. And Coach Jay Johnson, you'll hear him explain that he went into, like, basketball coach mode to coach in each possession, each at-bat very intensely. He understood that his team could have rolled over and died 7-0 against Kentucky, who was ranked, I think, 18th at the time, if memory serves correct. But LSU did a great job, fought all the way back, got the series win. You mentioned the rain delay last night. It was past my bedtime when they finally resumed play. But LSU gets the win over Southern after struggling early in that game. So still tinkering with the lineup, still tinkering with the pitching rotation. You saw Chris Stanfield have a great game on Sunday after getting bumped up in the lineup from that 9 spot. So in Johnson, we trust. He's the best coach in college baseball. So I think LSU is trending in the right direction. Of course, spring football, you've been at practice with Mike Scarborough. You're giving great practice reports on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, go check that out on LSU Tigers on TigerBait.com. It's Mike Scarborough's YouTube page. Certainly look forward to hearing what you have to say about the quarterbacks, the running backs, the offensive line, and all the new pieces and parts down there with Lane Kiffin's staff.
I tell you what, JP, it's interesting. This is a little bit more problematic for all of us in the media because there are 60 new players. Now, not everybody's out there. There's about 7 or 8 guys that have signed, Lamar Brown and others that aren't out there. But all of these new players, you're learning a new system. You're learning from new coaches. Most of the offensive coaches, all of them are certainly new and carryover with Blake Baker. We asked the coach about that, and he's very fired up about what Blake Baker and the guys are going to bring on the defensive end of it. I want to get back to Will Wade, and this is what it's all about. JP, if I would have told you 6 months ago that LSU would have Lane Kiffin taking the Tiger Nation on the Lane train from August 1, that's when you really start to get serious with your practices, getting ready for a great schedule as always. But Kiffin going from August through January or mid-January, you hope that they're in the playoffs this year. Obviously, Will Wade coming in, he's excited to be here. He knows what it's all about. And now with the portal, they're going to raise enough money to where you're going to have a very good men's basketball team. Kim Mulkey just hired an assistant to replace Gary Reedus, and Gabe will do a great job for her as a recruiter. As we talk about gymnastics, don't forget about them. They are hosting this weekend and this week, and will once again expected to get into the Final Four. And I got to say, as this baseball team, look, if you ask me right now if they're going to Omaha, I'd probably say no. But one thing about it, as you alluded to, nobody does it better than Jay Johnson. But real quick, how about my Fab Five here? Jay Johnson, Lane Kiffin, obviously Kim Mulkey. Then you get into 2 more stellar coaches with Jay Clark and, of course, as we know, Will Wade. Before we let you hear from Wade Roos, the new president of LSU, and Will Wade, your comments on how quickly Will Wade and LSU basketball will win.
Well,
JP.
Bud, man, I think the portal opens up on Monday, is what Coach Will Wade said in his introductory press conference. Look for LSU to make a big splash. He did have some one-on-one conversations with the guys that are left on the roster. Of course, LSU had a senior-laden team last season, but credit to Coach McMahon. It was a tough situation coming in. He knew it was going to be a tough situation. He handled it with class the entire way. Very decent human being. Glad he was on campus for his time, and certainly wish him the best. But you got to give it to LSU. They certainly rallied the excitement and passion back into that basketball program seemingly overnight. There's going to be a lot of support. There's going to be booster money, donations. They're going to get the players into the program that make them highly competitive in the SEC. And look, Will Wade was dealing with a couple assistants down, some scholarships down. The last time he finished up at LSU, the program wasn't at 100%, and still they were competing at the highest level. So look for that to happen immediately. I don't think it'll be a 2-3 year rebuild. Truly, I think Will Wade and this LSU program will be competitive, more competitive than a 16 seed in the SEC tournament next year. You can book that right now. I think they'll be close to the middle of the pack next year. And truly, that's going to be a big upgrade for fans out there. And who knows how far he could truly go. Will Wade energized. It's like he's welcoming back home. Even though he's not from Louisiana, he certainly feels a part of it. He says he's never connected to a fan base or an organization like he has to people of Louisiana and LSU. So he's for LSU. LSU's for him. That's what he said in his press conference. And I'm looking forward to a lot of excitement around the basketball program right now, Bud Man.
All right, if you missed it live or the replay on Monday, here we go. President Wade Roos and then Will Wade with that intro press conference with the PMAC on Monday.
Coach, welcome home. Welcome back to Baton Rouge. Welcome back to the PMAC. Welcome back to the flagship university of the great state of Louisiana. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium my friend, your coach, our general, Coach Will Wade.
Appreciate the warm welcome. I was joking with Kent this morning. They gave me the jersey with 26. I was seeing if I could get one that said 22/26. Because I was 22, 2 interim coaches, full-time head coach, and 26. So I didn't know if they were going to put that on the jersey, but we'll just take 26, take 26 for now. So, hey, look, very excited to be here. Great to see so many familiar faces. Great to have our students here, a lot of our alums, family, friends, supporters. Look, this is deeply personal for me to be back here and to celebrate with all you guys here today. I can't even express in words what Dr. Roos and just the administration, everybody has meant to me, and I couldn't be more thrilled to be back with my wife and my daughter. My daughter's a little taller now. They've been the foundation through the highs and lows, Caroline and Lauren, that we've been through. They keep me smiling. Keep me grounded, remind me of what matters in life. And so these two have sacrificed a lot for us to be here today. They sacrificed a ton. So I love you guys, and thank you guys so much for being here. There's too many people to thank for making this happen. There's just a ton of folks involved to make this happen. I want to first off thank our governor, Jeff Landry. I want to thank our wonderful LSU board, many of who are here today, and our great chairman, Lee Mallett. I want to thank Dr. Roos, who I've worked with before. We're going to work well together again, get that alignment. We've got Heath Schroyer here, same chain of command as Doc likes to say, and certainly our wonderful athletic administration and everybody involved in the athletic administration. Their belief in me and the belief in me that this is the right time to come home will never be forgotten. And make no mistake, this is home. I wasn't born in Louisiana, but Louisiana's home for me, and me and my family. And so, we're coming back to make history. We're going to make history one way or the other. We're coming back, like Dr. Roos said, to try to hang a banner, win a national championship, or I'm going to be the first coach fired from the same school twice. But one way or another, we're going to make history. And it's going to be a fun ride one way or the other, ain't no doubt about that. But we're very, very excited to be back. And look, these last 4 years, you're not getting the same coach you had 4 years ago. These last 4 years have humbled and changed me. You're getting a better coach, a better leader this time around. Now, I got the same urgency, I got the same fight, same feisty guy that you always know, but we're gonna be better. And I want everybody to know with LSU basketball, like, our time is now. With LSU basketball. I didn't come here to reflect and talk about the past and any of that stuff. I came here to win, and we're going to win immediately. LSU and Louisiana deserves a winner, and that's what we're going to deliver, and we're going to deliver that in short order. Listen, everybody has this notion, like LSU basketball is not meant to be average, mediocre, or pretty good. You can throw that stuff out. That's not who we are. That's not who we are. This program's meant to be great. This program's meant to compete at the highest levels of college basketball, night in and night out. And as we say down here, it just means more. And that highly competitive winning program, I know what that program looks like. I've seen it, I lived it, and I know how to build it the right way. We're going to be rooted in aggression, we're going to be rooted in toughness, we're going to be rooted in discipline. And we're going to recruit competitors that want to play that way. We're going to recruit competitors that understand what it means to put those 3 letters across your chest every day. You won't find anybody that's more proud to wear that LSU and state of Louisiana than this guy right here. And we're going to find 15 players that are willing to lay it on the line for us every night. Our first time here, we had some top 10 offenses, we had some top 10 defense, well, one top 10 defense, we're more offensive oriented, but we were a little bit all over the place. But now I know the formula, and we're going to come back, we're going to have a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense at the same time, which will allow us to compete at the level that we want to compete at. Defensively, we're going to be disruptive. We're going to play aggressive defensively and be disruptive. Offensively, we're going to be relentless, attacking the paint, attacking the rim. Then we're going to have the details and discipline with our special teams, all right? We're going to build a winning program, and we're going to build this thing quick. This is not something that's going to take long. We're going to get in that portal when it opens next Monday, and we're going to put together a winner, because everybody in here deserves a winner. To all our students, to all our fans, I remember this building when it was rocking. That Tennessee game, the year we won the SEC, I don't know if I've ever heard anything so loud in my life. The energy and the pride and how hard it is to play here when LSU basketball is unmatched anywhere in the country. And we're going to give you a team that you can be proud of and that we can pack the PMAC every night. We're going to be a team that plays extremely hard, that competes on every possession, all right? Our team's going to represent Louisiana the way it should be represented, with toughness, grit, and a lot of swagger, because that's what we have down here, all right? We don't do anything halfway in this state. We don't do anything halfway in this state. We're going to go all in, and we're going to get this basketball program right where it needs to be. And look, I know we've taken I know people have been talking about us a little bit. I understand I'm not for everybody. And we understand also that LSU isn't for everybody. But one thing we both understand is I'm for LSU and LSU's for me. And make no mistake about that. And this isn't about me. I'm just the caretaker of the program. This is about LSU and building something special and something that lasts, that's a sense of pride for our school, our state, our fans, and all of our people. And so we have a lot of work to do, but I promise you we're going to get this program back to the NCAA tournament and back to the top of the SEC in short order. And I'm honored to be your coach and represent this state and this great school. It's the honor of a lifetime to be back. You never get second chances in life, but we get one here, and we're going to make this better than the first time. So with that, I appreciate everybody. It's great to be home. And for the first time of many times, boot up!
If that doesn't get you fired up, I don't know what will. Will Wade is back. If there's a will, there's a way. If there's a will, you will see LSU in the NCAA playoffs in year one. Oh, by the way, that's press conference today, sponsored by Goodwood Grill. Good friends, good food, good times over at Goodwood Grill. JP loves the Monday special with the chicken fried steak. Always great lunch specials. 927-7550. Incredibly consistent. Po' boys, gumbo, low carb items, whatever you want. Don't forget corporate orders. 927-7550. That's Goodwood Grill. Always a thrill at Goodwood Grill. Back with more. Take our first time out. Kim Mulkey and Lane Kiffin, and, of course, Jay Johnson, still to come in this show on a Wednesday, April 1st. Hope everybody doing well, and you're watching Tigers Roar right here on Pelican Sports TV.
Embrace the luxury, safety, and comfort of a new Mazda at Team Mazda. Right now, get 1.9% financing for 60 months on a new Mazda CX-5 or a new Mazda CX-50. Find spring savings on your new Mazda here at Team Mazda on Airline.
When I started this practice over 35 years ago, I had one goal: to treat every patient like family. And over the years, I've watched kids grow up in this office, come back as parents, and now I'm seeing their kids in the same chair. That kind of trust, it's not something we take for granted. This isn't just where we do dentistry, it's where we make people feel at home. Frugier Family Dentistry, where you treat it like family. Call or visit FrugierFamilyDentistry.com to schedule.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Very busy Wednesday morning here, April 1st, taping Tigers Roar. Hope once again everybody has a great Easter weekend. JP, tough break. I don't know how much of the LSU Duke game you watched. It was Friday night at 9 o'clock out in Sacramento, ended after 11 o'clock. Never seen a team have so many balls bounce on the rim and end up getting through the net. And, of course, that happened on the three-point shot. JP, good season for LSU, but once again, Flau'jae didn't have her best game in a big game. Michaela was a little uptight early on, and they just, for a while, they carried this team, but got beat at the buzzer. Once again, you know, Mulkey will be back with a great team next year. But what do you think stopped them from getting to the Elite Eight or the Final Four this year?
Yeah, I think just the big two didn't have their best game when truly the team needed it, and the ball just didn't bounce their way towards the end of that Duke game. You got to give credit to Duke; they stayed hungry. They were after the ball with rebounds and loose balls, and they were diving on the floor, and the ball did roll their way at the very end. Look, it doesn't have to bounce their way. Sometimes that's just how it goes. LSU, I think a lot of people around Baton Rouge thought that they were a Sweet 16 team. If they went further, it was because Michaela Williams and Flau'jae and Fulwiley all had really good games, and unfortunately, that just wasn't the case. Give credit to Coach Kim Mulkey. After the game, she did address, what her future looks like, what this team is going to look like next year. Gave big credits to Flau'jae. Of course, she had a great great career. 4 years at LSU, started as a McDonald's All-American freshman, got the national championship, and really contributed a lot to the community outside of basketball. So she was truly one of the greats for Coach Kim Mulkey in that program. And sad to see her go, but look forward to see all the great things she does after LSU.
Here is Kim Mulkey after that tough loss last Friday night out in Sacramento.
They were able to get some second chance points, even to the end. There was that long rebound. We get that, we're going to win the ball game, and we couldn't get that one. Just little things like that we just couldn't get 2 possessions ahead. We were always catching up.
Question in the back, then we'll come to the front.
Kim, just yesterday you said that this team was a pleasure to coach.
Mm-hmm.
You've got an incredible freshman class and a couple of leaders sitting up there with you tonight. I guess what are you looking at in this team next season?
Well, you're looking at a team that is very talented, a team that freshmen got lots of minutes this year, and you add a few to the mix and hope that we're back in this position again. That's what I hope.
Question in the front, right here.
Michael Vopel, ESPN.com. Please forgive me for having to ask you this. I know you don't pay a lot of attention to social media. During this game, somebody online claiming to be an LSU insider said you were retiring when this season was ending. Do you have any comment on that?
You are now explaining to me why my phone was blowing up with that same question. And I said to this person, I'm not retiring. Do I look that bad? I don't know where that came from. I'm only 63, and I'm healthy. with a few stents in my heart. My doctor says I'm good to go. I have no clue where that stuff comes from, guys. I've never, ever told anybody that. There are moments where you feel like, why am I doing this? But Vopal, I don't get how people can just write crap on social media. That has to make y'all feel really bad as journalists. Do some of y'all write that crap on there? Huh? That has to make you feel terrible. And you get away with it. And people believe it. My mother called, how's Kramer doing? My son, I said, what are you talking about? Well, he had his leg cut off in an accident today. See, older people especially believe that stuff. I'm not retiring. I plan to hire 2 coaches quickly. I plan to get in the portal and get 2 or 3 more players and take a little time off, go see my grandchildren who actually flew in and got in late and didn't even see the game, but I'll get to visit with them tonight in the hotel. But there is no retiring. I think that's used a lot in recruiting. I think as we get older as coaches, they want to say, well, how much longer is she going to be in the game? I'm going to be in this game unless LSU fires me, okay, until I can't put a product on that floor that's competitive or my health fails me. So I would appreciate all of you in here, whoever put that out, if you know who they are, you need to stop it when you see it, because it's just a flat-out lie.
All right, so there you go, folks. We talked about the Fab Five of coaching. Jay Johnson at the number 1 spot on my toad board, JP. 2 out of 3 national championships, does it as well as anybody. Kim Mulkey right there in the 2 slot. Of course, Lane Kiffin you got to put in the 3 slot because LSU makes $68 million plus a year in football, and we'll get into prospects of the 26th season. Of course, don't forget about, as always, Will Wade. I predict he's going to take them to the NCAA tournament in year 1, and then Jay Clark doing a fantastic job. That is 5 great coaches. We call them the Fab Five. JP and I have the black hats on, folks. This is from Bayou Apparel, everythinglsu.com. Don't forget, you are now going to be wearing the black hat. JP, I think this is going to carry over into the football season. The nation calling Louisiana State a cesspool and this and that. They're butthurt at NC State. They're butthurt at Ole Miss. I kind of like this underdog role. And, you know, one thing about it, folks, when you mess with a Louisiana person and when you rub kind of the doo-doo in their face, they come back and have a resounding answer. I think this is going to be a great comeback year starting in August for the LSU family and their fan base.
Yeah, Bud, man, it's not really that often the folks of Louisiana have something to be proud of, but obviously sports is different. And they hate us because they ain't us, Bud, man. Yeah. They wish they could bring in these coaches, but that's just not happening. They're not LSU. And, yeah, looking forward to it. I'm okay with being the bad guy, especially in sports. You know, look, people fear, you know, the people at the top. And you don't understand it because you're not from here. You're not from around here. You don't understand why it's just different until you get down here and you really experience it. But there's a reason that LSU is able to gather all these coaches. And Wayne Roots did a great job articulating that point by saying fans of LSU don't gather to celebrate mediocrity. You know, they gather to celebrate the elite, and I think that's what they're building right now. Virgil Osprey has done a fantastic job as AD so far. The alignment within the leadership and the university, excited for things to come, Bud, man. And there will be no lack of entertainment or coverage with LSU in any sport.
All right, let's quickly get you caught up here. One of the big ball games over the weekend, if you were like me, you wanted to turn it off. Kentucky had a 7-zip lead on the Sunday game. They came back. and had a granny to get it to 6-5. Then, of course, had a tie. As we know, here we go. As this is a big game, they're down 7-0, and that's Big Papa. Who is that? Big Papa getting a walk, and then, of course, there's the grand slamming from John Pearson.
Yeah, 7-1. York draws a walk, loads the bases. John Pearson, happy for this young man. Obviously, had an older brother that was so successful at LSU. It's been a little bit of a struggle so far for him in the purple and gold, but absolutely exploded on that ball. Coach Jay Johnson loves the power. Peterson swings from the right side. He's going to do big things for LSU. This is a great, fantastic hit. Get LSU right back in the game on one swing.
So after you get a 7-6 lead, inexplicably they give up another few runs, and here we come back, and this is Derek Curiel with, I think, the solo shot.
Yeah, the solo shot. It was 10-7 at this point. After LSU comes back, gives up 3 more runs. This was inching back into the game. Curiel wanted to show his power this year, only had 1 home run before this at-bat. Then he got another one against Southern, so Derek Curiel trending in the right direction, but, man, he's going to be a huge piece of this puzzle moving towards Omaha.
And I know the next highlight that you're going to get, folks, is the bat flip. Well, we'll see. Here we go with a walk, another big walk, and as we know, another walk, so 2 walks in a row, and then here comes up Dardar, Seth Dardar, and everybody knows when you are a big-time recruit, you feel pressure. Watch the bat flip. Oh, that bat flip. JP could have gotten tossed. I'm glad the umpires didn't get crazy there.
Yeah, I'm really surprised there wasn't more action by the umpire. That was one of the biggest bat flips you will ever see. If you watch the replay, the bat comes back down into orbit with the camera panning towards right field. Happy for Seth Dardar. He wants to be good for the Tigers. Grew up watching LSU. You can see how pumped up he was, but he had a fantastic day Sunday. So did Chris Stanfield, but really the catalyst was that grand slam by Peterson and that 3-run shot. You'll see a bat flip right here. One of the highest you'll ever see, Seth Dardar.
Unbelievable. By the way, the importance of this game, folks, if you lose this game, you are 3-6 after 3 weeks. But they came back to win, and invariably now at 4-5, there is a called strike 3 to get out of the inning. And then once again, Stanny. How about Chris Stanfield going deep, JP?
Yeah,
into the corner for a double.
Can't say enough good things about Chris Stanfield, guy that really battled back from injury. He knew how valuable he was to this team. Jay Johnson talked about how valuable he was to this team, but now you start to see it game in and game out for Chris Stanfield.
Stanny, once again, leading LSU in batting in the league right now. He did that last year, a little faux pas by the Kentucky outfielder, and invariably the Tigers are going to get this win 17-10. Here we go. Another. How about this? Watch this, folks. Well, I was waiting. I thought Curiel was coming around a second on that. But look, Kentucky gave them plenty of opportunities. Here it is right here, a pass ball. And watch Derek Curiel come in here, folks. He came all the way from second to score on that.
That's a little bit later, but, man, got to give a shout-out. Kid pitching right now, Ira Austin Jr. from Metairie, Louisiana. His younger brother, Aiden, played at EJ with Drew, my son. So we've known the family for a long time. Ira actually got to pitch on Saturday and Sunday for Kentucky at the transfer from Nunez Community College. So happy for the family, even though it didn't work out on Sunday. If you're a Wildcat fan, it certainly worked out well if you're an LSU fan.
And listen, folks, if you're seeing some faux pas in the outfield and infield, this is with everybody. But here we go. Is this another one? This is a ball off of the glove, off the wall. And at this point, look, the Ducks are on the pond. Finally, some timely hitting for LSU in this third game.
Yeah, Bud, man, usually LSU's the one having pass balls that give up runs, but they did get the hit with men on base. You'll see the play you keep talking about with Curiel. Excellent hustle around second base, rounds third, makes it home on the pass ball. You'll see it right here. Ball kicks away. Catcher tries to throw it back to the pitcher. Unfortunately, it rolls to the first baseline, and Curiel with a great baseball play takes an extra base, and he scores on the pass ball as well.
Yeah, it's it was crazy and ironic to get the football score of 17-10. There's Derek Curiel. Curiel has really been coming around, and guess what, folks? We've been talking about this on the radio show a bunch. Stephen Milam's daddy came back into town this past weekend, and I told people, because Stephen Milam's dad fixes him better than anybody, he is going to be hot the rest of the year. Hit 2 homers and a single last night. There's something about knowing your son swing better than anybody, and Milam's daddy is a big proponent, and By the way, hit one out last night from the left side and the right side, JP.
Yeah, and he's a huge piece, Bud, man. Obviously had huge success as a freshman. Came back, did great things, national championship, but played second base for LSU, moved to shortstop. He's the best defensive shortstop in college baseball. If his offense comes around, it's just one more piece that Coach Jay Johnson has to build towards that third national title in 4 years.
We'll let you hear from Jay Johnson, some of the players. Once again, shout out to all of our folks over at Greystone Golf and Country Club. Check them out. No longer the secret of the South. We've got tennis, we've got golf, we've got social, and we have a great facility for all of you that need that, whether it's a wedding, a retirement, an engagement, whatever. Greystone Golf and Country Club, 667-6744. Tell them Buddy sent you over. Quick time out. We come back with more on a very busy edition of Tigers Roar right here on Pelican Sports TV.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremontis.com.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements, and that's where Lee Serio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Lee Serio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Lee Serio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Ready for a new truck? Then now's the time to get set and go to Team Toyota. Drive a new 25 Tacoma for just $299 a month, or get 2.99% for 72 months on a new 26 Tundra. It's time to save on your new Toyota and join the team at Team Toyota.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
And we welcome you back. We're going to flip the calendar a little bit here. It is spring football. We've been out there. First of all, we are all appreciative, everybody in the media, that we've had the opportunity to see about 25 minutes. We do get Lane Kiffin every Tuesday after practice, and we'll let you hear a little bit from Coach Kiffin. But, JP, I'll give you a little bit of a rundown. Folks, everybody worries about the offensive line, and there are some big old nasties on that offensive line. And we start off by letting you see number 11, of course, is Landon Clark. He's from Elon, and he's had some good days. Didn't throw it well that much yesterday, but here we go. You're watching a little bit of 11 on 11 right here, JP.
Yeah, and Bud, man, obviously LSU football fans excited to get the team back on the field. A lot of new pieces and parts. Of course, a new quarterback room entirely. And excited to the high-tempo offense. See if these guys can wrap their heads around on both sides of the ball, Bud, man. I mean, offense is one thing, but defending this at practice each and every day has got to be tough on the defensive line.
Yep. All right. Real quick, Jordan Seaton, who came over from Colorado, has lost 20-plus pounds. He's over at 307 at left tackle. Devin Harper from Ole Miss is at left guard. Braylon Moore back at center. The right guard, Lou Ball, a real big, tough, big ugly at right guard. And then, of course, at right tackle is Weston Davis. Once again, this is he's not the biggest of kids, 6 foot of 195. And JP, we've had discussions out there. We feel like Sam Levitt will have the shot to be the starter when he comes back. But right now, Mr. Clark and Husan Longstreet are getting a lot of reps with the ones.
Yeah, and it's good for them. It's also bad for Sam Levitt. Obviously, he's as much a competitor as he can be. He wants to be out there taking the reps for himself. But You obviously know, the season is long. It's a war of attrition, so always good to have your backups getting some reps with those ones in case it has their opportunities called because of injury or what have you. But yeah, it's going to be a competitive quarterback run, Bud, man. I know that Sam Levitt's supposed to be the incumbent number one, but these guys, they're fighting for their reps too.
Hey, you saw number 1 on defense. That's Prince from Ole Miss. You saw number 94, Richard Anderson. He came over here at about 350. They've got him down at about 335, JP. Defense, everybody knows that you got to be more physical than finesse at the line of scrimmage. And, boy, Kevin Smith, this running back coach, you're going to absolutely love him. By the way, number 13, if you pan in there, that's Dylan Jones. He's 5'11", about 215, and he is going to be the guy that runs between the tackles. And now you're talking about Caden Durham, 29, Harlan Berry, 22. And Stacey Gage is another guy that they brought in, number 23, that's got an extra gear. I think it's running back by committee once again this year, JP.
Yeah, it's a deep room, Bud, man, and they wanted to make sure it was that way through the portal. They had a lot of guys come in to complement Harlan Berry and Caden Durham. Harlan Berry tried to put on a little more muscle this offseason. It's going to be about who can do all three, catch the ball, run the ball, and also protect that quarterback. So lots of intensity from Coach. You love to see that. He really shows him what he wants. And you have to teach them all. It's all a new playbook, Bud, man. So it's going to take a little time, but excited and encouraged about the depth that they built at that running back room.
Kevin Smith is a great running back, and he was a great running back coach. Of course, he's the real reason Quan Lacey had that great year last year at Ole Miss. There you see Rod Gainey, another running back in the mix. Wanted to get into this offensive situation with all these wide receivers. JP, 15 new wide receivers. Jace Brown is number 1. They like him a lot. Number 6 is Winnie Watkins. Jackson Harris is number 4, coming over from Hawaii. Tradez Green in the slot. He is not going to be a blocking tight end. And you know that the biggest thing the Tigers are trying to get acclimated to is running it at the pace that Lane Kiffin wants to run it. They average about 75 plays a game. But, JP, the great thing about it is when you're defending that, you also become much more apt to be able to defend that.
Yeah.
And Blake Baker, as I asked the coach about him yesterday, was one of the keys because, look, Lane Kiffin went against Blake Baker the last couple of years. He likes it, and he likes being aggressive. I think that LSU at the line of scrimmage is going to be appreciably better and stronger. But, man, it's going to be exciting to see for that first weekend against Clemson in Tiger Stadium.
And I'm excited to see the relationship between Blake Baker and Lane Kiffin kind of evolve and progress as the season goes on. Both young guys, a lot of energy, like a high tempo. Blake Baker likes a lot of exotic blitzes. It's going to be tough to sub guys in and out. So got to be on your P's and Q's, especially at practice. It's only going to hone that skill for the game. So I am excited about the football season, Bud, man. A lot of money went to this roster. A lot of money went to the buyout. So you want to see the product on the field, have success. Look for LSU to at least make a push towards the playoffs, Bud, man. But Lane Kiffin does not want to put those goals, those expectations on his program. He wants to start by forming good habits on how they practice, how physical they are, how they work out. He's saying all the right things so far, Bud, man. I've been encouraged by a more humble, a more mature, a wiser Lane Kiffin than we've seen in the past in other programs. And truly, September can't get quick enough for LSU fans.
Everybody knows that the statement that Kiffin has been using ever since he's got here, it's just different. And speaking of different, JP, I asked Coach Kiffin how much he will hit, and he went into this long 2-minute answer about, here's the deal, buddy. This is like a pro team now. You don't hit that much because you are limited with the depth. The days of Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Ohio State, all those great teams that had so many. I mean, when LSU won national championships, they're 3 deep at every position. Same thing with Bama, Georgia, Ohio State, all those big blue blood teams. Guess what, JP? Everybody doesn't have that anymore because the guy who was a third team at one of those great teams doesn't stay there anymore. He goes and is a starter somewhere else. And so you got to be careful with how much you hit versus that injury factor. Oh, by the way, some bad news. Gabe Relaford out for the year with a lower leg injury. And we know that, let's be honest, you got to have that rush edge. Jaylen Brown from Carolina, a big kid from Tennessee, as well as others. Freshmen are going to play, but all that being said, no spring game. And Lane Kiffin, I don't know if you had that on the interview portion that we're going to play in a little bit, but no spring game and not even a spring scrimmage. This is truly coaching like this is a mini professional team. The only problem I have with it, JP, is that this team has been soft and has not been physical and has not done a great job of tackling. So at some point, you're going to have make sure that they are physical enough to start. Doesn't look like they're going to have a lot of that. And so for those of you that want a spring game, no spring game for LSU football this year.
Yeah, and Lane Kiffin explained it where he didn't want to put that, that film on tape for guys because it's now a televised situation with the spring game. And also that second portal window, he talked about, you have a spring game. This guy's, third or fourth on the roster. It comes out how he's developing. The young guys, they transfer somewhere else before the season starts. So I don't love how Coach says that they're not going to hit that much. Obviously, tackling is something you have to get used to, both being tackled and doing the tackling. Hitting the ground, rolling through. Only good thing is there's so much more technology these days than there was even 5 or 6 years ago and how to practice tackle without actually tackling another teammate. So, the proof is going to be in the pudding. Will this team be a good defensive tackling team? Will they be physical at the line of scrimmage? Hopefully the answer is yes to both of those questions. But Lane Kiffin is going to have to figure out a way to do it just like the pro teams, not with the preseason schedule, but just how to work it out at practice. You got the virtual reality situations going on, a lot of resources for LSU, but nothing really can simulate football shape. So we'll see what happens.
And look, Lane Kiffin knows what he's done. And one of the other things that we got to remind you of is that Ole Miss has been really good running the football. So you're going to have a running game. You're going to have pressure. Oh, by the way, Whit Weeks is out there but not doing anything too physical. Of course, as we alluded to, Sam Levitt is not doing any of the team 11-on-11 and 7-on-7. He's starting to jog around. He's moving around a little bit. He's very competitive. It's driving him crazy that he can't get reps. He is throwing the football. And as always, JP, after an early week and a half assessment, the one area that I'm a little concerned with is depth at corner, and I don't know if they've got a physical corner. Everybody knows DJ Pickett and P.J. Woodland right now expected to start. Jackson, who was there picked up from Florida last year. Havon Finney, Aiden Anding. They've got 5 or 6 guys in the mix, but they don't have that big physical corner. Wish we had a guy like Mansour Delane. Now, his brother's on the team who came over from Ohio State. He's a safety, but, man, a physical lockdown corner, something LSU needs. And guess what, folks? There's not a second portal this year.
Yeah, but, man, you go into the league really encouraged about Pickett and Woodland. But, yeah, you mentioned it. LSU's going to need another corner. You pick up Mansour Delane's little brother. He's not going to be Mansour Delane. I mean, let's get real. Mansour Delane's probably getting picked in the top 10 in the upcoming NFL draft. So, you're going to have to do it different ways. Got to get pressure on the quarterback. A lot of exotic blitzes from Coach Blake Baker, defensive coordinator. But I believe LSU does have the talent, Bud, man. Bring in Prince from Ole Miss, and they will be able to affect the pocket of the opposing quarterback. But you mentioned it. You're going to have to get good play from Woodland and Pickett. Obviously, Pickett had a great freshman year. He has the size to be physical. He had to get a little stronger in the offseason. He was skinny as a rail, but we'll see how this defense is looking deeper into the spring.
Here's Lane Kiffin meeting with the media as he recaps another practice out at the Ponderosa.
I think that practice has gone really well. I think they're really competitive. I think that anytime you go somewhere and it has nothing to do with previous staff, you have a lot of work to do. You have a lot of work to do besides what is obvious that everybody thinks about roster changes and portal and additions, but how you practice and how players think, to fit into the way that you want things done. So, that's a constant battle for us, and so I can see that improving out there, understanding how to practice. We want to practice really physical, but also protect the team in how that we practice, and that maybe sounds really easy, but it's challenging to get right to that middle spot of how to do that. So it's been going well, and I think there's great competition out there.
Coach, talking to defense a little bit, can you talk about what you want the identity of your LSU defense to look like, and how did the dots connect with Blake Baker being your DC coming back, and what kind of fit was that with you and him on offense, defense?
So, obviously playing LSU every year like we did at the previous place. You got to watch the transformation defensively when Blake got here and how that worked and how much they improved each season. And so, I was very pleased that we were able to keep him. That really helps with player transition. If you start over on both sides, it's like you're creating an expansion team nowadays, because you have to basically scratch everything's from scratch, and majority of the players leave the place. And so, it was really critical to keep him because he has done a great job continuing to improve them. And now we want to go to another level and play really physical, dominant defense, and that creates a lot of havoc and turnovers, but at the same time plays with great discipline. So that's been here before, a number of times, and so that's a big goal, to get that back to that style of play that nobody wants to play LSU's defense like it used to be.
Yeah, Coach, just had a question about your running back room. Obviously, you guys brought back Harlem and Caden. I think fans are pretty familiar with those guys and what they can do on the field. The four that you brought in from the transfer portal, I'm just wondering if you can talk a little bit about what you wanted to see and what you guys wanted to attack in the portal with that position, and just kind of the guys that you brought in to help supplement that group.
Yeah, I think as you look at each position, we look at each position as like its own team, meaning, when we get here, okay, how can we make that room the best that we can from top to bottom? And I believe that's something that we've done really well in not just the headline guys, a place that we've been, but how do you build it, because that impacts special teams too, but it impacts even the bottom. How do you practice on service team on the other side? And so, kind of a constant trying to make our roster the best we can. And so with the running back room, like many offensive positions, there were not many numbers there left. And so to go in and add people of different ages, different skill set was really, really critical. So, and that'll be a very open competition, like everything here. It doesn't matter if you've been here before, how many stars that you were, or where you're from. Okay, that's not how we evaluate. That's not how we do depth charts, right or wrong. It's just how we do it. Because I want to sit in here in front of the team, and they understand. Okay, if we're going to preach competition and how things are done, well, we want to see that happen. And I think over time you'll see players that aren't marquee names starting over maybe marquee names or recruits or stars and those things.
Coach, it seems you picked up a lot of wide receivers that average 15 yards per catch or more. Was that an emphasis, and how do you feel about your ability to throw the ball down the field, stretch the field?
Yeah, I think explosive plays are a very critical factor, always have been as you look at analytics, into winning games and being successful defensively, limiting them and having them on offense. And that's not just what you draw up. You got to have the players. So to add players that have made a number of explosive plays in the receiver room was important. We kind of look at that room where maybe you don't, we try to balance the room more. If you think of it as like, here's your cap number for a room, instead of being really top heavy with 1 and 2 and then not having depth. I think when we've been our best, it's because we've had, 4 to 5 to 6 receivers that can all play really well. And so that's what we're striving for here. I think we have a chance to do that with the players that are out there, because then we're the best for the long run of the season and potentially into postseason. And I think you got to look at that, especially as schedules get harder with the 9th game. And basically here, the way it's set up, you really have 10 basically SEC games. So it's really critical, the numbers that you have there, and that you can stay healthy throughout the season. And when you go to your second guys, that you're still able to put pressure on defense.
Okay, so giving you a spring football recap, Sam Levitt is not doing all of the drills, but he is limited. Looks like he's probably about 65 to 70%. That's just a number I threw off the top of the head. Landon Clark, Husan Longstreet getting a lot of reps with the ones. Right now, 3 or 4 running backs. Of course, Caden Durham, Harlan Berry, and a couple of guys, Dylan Jones, as well as Stacy, that we talked about earlier. Lot of wide receivers. JP, 15 wide receivers. This is just me talking out loud here. Wouldn't shock me if they turn one of those wide receivers in the corners. Look, you got to agree. You get an injury to DJ Pickett and P.J. Woodland, You're thin at the corner spot, JP.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Bud, man. You're going to need some help. And, yeah, they did bring in guys. They want to stretch the ball down the field, throw the vertical pass. Explosive plays is obviously something you want as an offense. You want to limit as a defense. It's got to be written into the game plan. They do have a very deep wide receiver room. Coach Lane Kiffin said he wants 5 or 6 guys playing at a high level. They got way more than that right now. So, yeah, you take one of those athletic guys. The one that drops the most passes, I think, should probably just transfer to the defensive side of the ball. Somebody with good hips that can help you in the slot. Because, yeah, you drop one of your top 2, it does get thin in a hurry. And hopefully you avoid the injury bug. Of course, it's not the only position that you might be thin if you drop 1 or 2 guys. But Coach Blake Baker's going to have to figure out a way to help these cornerbacks with some exotic pressures. Maybe play 3 safeties. Look, that's why they get paid the big bucks to figure that kind of stuff out.
11.5-point favorite against Clemson in that opening game. LSU is going to show Clemson what the real Death Valley looks like. By the way, we'll give you a little bit of action on the specialists. We hadn't really seen a lot of punting and place kicking. They haven't been doing a lot of stuff on special teams. It is a long process. Just think about a new business coming in with 60 new employees. It is going to be a grind, but Lane Kiffin knows what he's doing. They will be a good football team at some point, but you better be ready because your chin strap has to be ready that first month. Hosting Clemson the first weekend, Louisiana Tech second weekend, week 3 at Ole Miss, and, of course, wrapping it up that first 4th game with Texas A&M. JP, let's take our quick time out. We'll come back to wrap it up right here on Tigers Roar on Pelican Sports TV.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
When I started Frugier Family Dentistry, my goal was simple: treat every patient like family and provide the kind of dental care we'd want for our own.
And that's still the way we do it here. Whether it's cleanings, implants, or cosmetic work, we take time, explain every step, and treat people the right way.
People come here because they trust us, and they send the people they care about. That means everything.
And we're proud to keep that going right here in Baton Rouge.
Frugier Family Dentistry, rooted in family and focused on you.
Thank you, Dr. Frugier. And wrap it up. Don't forget Jay Clark and the Lady Tigers hosting their gymnastics. They should take care of business. They are heavily favored, and they are expected to make it into the Final Four. Appreciate each and every one of you. See you next time right here on Tigers Roar with Buddy Songy and Jonathan Poche.